Welcome, Story Squires, to Story Lords, the prompt-based fiction podcast with 2 prompts, 3 stories, and infinite laughter. This is our Christmas episode, but Christmas has already happened. So,
Christmas was 3 or 4 days ago at this point.
However, Hanukkah is still happening because it's the 25th to the 2nd.
Wait, can you say Hanukkah again, please?
Hanukkah.
I thought you said Hanukkah.
He said Hanukkah.
You know what? I'm not a practicing Jew, so it doesn't really matter. It matters
Only
to
one of us is actually Jewish. Calling it Hanukkah is pretty wild.
Hanukkah.
Isn't that the name of 7 of 9?
Hanukkah Yannicka.
Yeah, that's exactly what her name is. Her middle name's Dreidel. I'm Rich Masters, and with me as always is Josh Henderson.
Ow!
And Kelly Bundy.
Ow, ow, ow!
Jeff Pennington.
Ow!
He's our Kelly Bundy, the Kelly Bundy of the show.
Man, every time I come down the stairs, the audience wants to underage fuck me. So.
I love when he comes downstairs in a mini skirt, and I'm just like,
This week, our prompts were long-lost siblings and diners.
Boo!
You don't like diners?
I swear to God, the write-in Discord on the subsection on the Story Lords Discord gets better prompts than we do.
Well, that makes sense.
I think RX was the one to point out, well after I'd already written the concept of my story and couldn't change it, that a diner is also someone who eats food. So you could have just had someone eat food in your story and it would have been fine.
Man, I was excited to shoehorn in the worst prompt we've ever gotten.
You mean long-lost siblings?
It was no frogs, though, I'll tell you that much.
Frogs created my worst ever Story Lord story, I think.
I don't think so. I think Frogs made one of the best episodes we ever did.
Rat with a Gun comes from frogs.
It does.
I can't hate frogs too much.
So this week, I'm going first. So, thank you very much. Thank you. I'll just readjust my miniskirt as I sit down.
Yeah, man, it's hard when your schlonger's poking out of it.
My episode this week is called Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dies.
I'm kind of jealous of that.
I almost named my story the exact same thing.
Did you?
No way. Well, there's 2 smart people on this podcast.
Oh, what the hell do you want? I mean, hello, I'm Dr. Lee Wen, owner and CEO of the Omnizone. The holidays are a tough time for me, to be honest, fair but stupid listeners. You may not be able to empathise with me regarding my money or my success, or overall opulent lifestyle, but you can empathise that family are the most draining thing, besides for your mother, who drains more semen than a horde of ancient Greek sirens.
Holy shit.
And siblings. Hoo boy, siblings are the pits. I've developed technology that has revolutionised the world, and my sister could shove a breadstick up her nose and pretend she was a walrus, and they'd clap like the godforsaken dumb seals they are. Anyway, Merry Christmas, I guess, and welcome once more.
Hitting walrus and seals in one joke is really impressive.
Was the prompts maritime mammals?
Anyway, Merry Christmas, I guess, and welcome once more to the Omnizone.
Zone.
Bethany P. Kelly was aware that Father James was talking on account of his lips moving. She knew it was about something caring because his eyes were soft. She also knew it was probably fucking boring due to having to sit through his sermons with her parents whenever she came home for Christmas. James Fairchild had one of those droning voices that could have sent a speed freak insomniac kid with a new PS5 to open on Christmas morning to sleep.
Yeah, Evan.
He does get into my speed quite a lot.
We can leave it out, I mean.
That's true, it's true. He put a hand to her shoulder, and that brought her back to the real world. They loved you, Beth. They might never have known how to say it, but they did. She scoffed. Listen, Father, it's easy to say that. You say it to every heathen that comes in off a 5-day meth bender after stealing their grandmother's last nickel. I say it to any man I want to buy me a drink, or so's I can ride them like the Rohirrim going to war.
Oh my God, where did she go to? What bar is this?
Beth, he warned, almost recoiling at her words. In truth, they had been friends since school, but he went one way and she another. Less chaste, but definitely more fun way. The only Sunday service she provided was when she wore a low-cut top on a Twitch stream. Damn car payments were making themselves. Sorry, James, I know you don't like the profanity on account of your dick still being shrink-wrapped and all. She was suddenly aware she was wearing the shortest black outfit in front of her priest friend. The only black dress she had was a date night dress, and her legs were as frigid as a mother's heart.
That's sad. That's why she does all the whoring.
With no slut shaming in this episode, even though I heavily slut shame in my story.
Go. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, whores.
Just take it easy, okay? Someone in your condition... At her warning glare, he stopped. As always, if you need me for anything... He looked at her and noticed her smirk. Except for the friends with benefits thing, as you so deftly put it last time. I'm here for you. Just...
Why did you become a priest, you idiot?
Just remember, all right? Your parents already lost one child. And that might have meant they couldn't love the way they probably should have. Beth pulled her coat up around her to combat the December chill, which tore through her like your mum tears through co-eds that will ultimately leave her sad and alone.
Where does my mom live?
She lives in the dorm, apparently.
Fucking Penn State? What the fuck is going on?
The last thing she needed was to be reminded of the dead sister yardstick she could never measure up to. Deceased siblings tend to trump your shit picture of a cat on a fridge. To hear her parents talk, the kid they lost would have grown up to be president of the world, who could definitely beat Battletoads without a game genie, and probably climbed out of the womb reciting fucking Hamlet.
But wait, Rich, did you have Game Genie in your story already before I accused you of using Game Genie on Elden Ring?
Yep.
What the fuck?
James.
Which is true, he did use Game
He did use Game Genie. He used Game Genie put inside of a Game Shark. He was cheating so hard.
That's an exponential.
Cheaters always win. James, I love you, buddy, but if I had $1 for everyone who told me they couldn't love like others could as some way to distance themselves from me, well, I'd have $4, which doesn't really seem like a lot, but it's more than coincidental, isn't it? She turned to walk back to the subway. She had work this afternoon and she couldn't afford to be late again. Beth, aren't you forgetting something? James called after her, and she turned to find he was holding out the urn to her. She took it, nodded to her friend, and hurried to her shift. Beth tied her apron on as soon as she entered the diner and was about to apologise to Gino when he put a sweaty, meaty hand up to her. Kid, don't you dare apologise. I told you shouldn't have even come in. Thursdays are quieter than Kevin Spacey's agent's office. We've only had one customer the last 3 days. She keeps ordering tuna melts. Oh, is that why it smells like my ex-girlfriend's fingers in here? Beth nodded.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Now I'm hungry for a tuna melt.
Squinting at the smell of aquarium. Gino Fasano was unlike most other bosses in that he had human emotions.
Poopy the Peppy's back, baby.
In that he had human emotions and understood that employees are humans with lives of their own. Let's just
Did you say
Louis.
he's not like other Italians?
Other bosses.
Oh, okay.
Bosses.
Did I say Italians? It might have been a Freudian slip. Let's just say
Italians are boss, am I right?
True.
Let's just say
Saved it, guys.
Luigi Mario Todi, or whatever the fuck his name was, would not be paying a visit to Gino. Please note, I'm not saying that the killing of anyone is acceptable, except for Hitler or whatever robo-variant he's currently inhabiting, or James Corden, but in my honest opinion, people paying themselves and their shareholders massive dividends whilst not preventing and in some cases actively causing the death of so many others, or refusing painkilling medicines to children undergoing chemotherapy, should not be grieved. Anyway, Gino was top tier and
Shoot
a
him with a
genuine
gun.
nice guy. Also, just coincidentally, thank you to a young man named Luigi Mangione who helped me rake my leaves in the garden on the 4th of December at whatever time that CEO guy was killed. You were a very nice man who helped me no end and certainly wasn't anywhere near any sort of murder.
This guy's alibi is fucking ironclad. He was everywhere else on Earth at the time.
He said he was raking the leaves. He must have been.
How you doing, kid? Despite the smell of grease from the diner's hot plate, Beth quite liked being in the kitchen. It filled a hole in her memory that should have been filled with cooking with her mother, but her parents were just too busy with their work to partake in any of that treasured memory shit. She gestured to the urn. I've been better, Gino. Hope you don't mind I brought the folks in to work. Thought I'd show them around. You should probably get them out of the kitchen so as I don't mistake them for kosher salt or something, but it's okay. He hesitated. And, what about this? He pointed to his chest. She sighed. Her friends cared about her, that much was obvious, but the constant worry about her heart was tiresome. My tits are perfect, Gino. It's why I make all that side hustle cash.
Yeah.
You doing anything for Christmas? Lapland, he said nonchalantly. She was taken aback. But Gino, I thought you didn't have any kids. He gawped at her as if she was stupid. Why would I fucking take kids to a strip club, Beth?
Lapland.
That's fucking incredible.
She nodded and exited the kitchen, grabbed her notebook and looked out over the diner. Gino was right. Thursdays were pretty boring. She put the urn next to the register and went over to the jukebox and put Last Christmas by Wham on. Not because she liked Christmas songs per se, but because if she had to suffer in a capitalist hell, then everyone who came in here should suffer too.
Yup.
I
Just
like
when
that
she-
song.
Last Christmas.
I like all Christmas songs. I don't really care. Just
I
when
thought you were bah humbugging today.
no, I'm great. I love Christmas.
This dude fucking, he's the anti-Grinch.
Yeah. Just when she was about to head back into the kitchen and speak to Gino, she noticed the redhead in the far booth with her back to Beth, sitting alone. Not in the mood for a human interaction this or any other day, she kept her head down and looked at her notepad as she approached the customer.
You got to avoid those redheads.
Hey.
Anything else? We can't give you another tuna melt. You'll die of malnourishment. Is the Denver omelette any good? The customer asked lazily. Beth shrugged, not looking up. Depends. For attic insulation, paving a garden, maybe. For eating, not unless you've got some sort of constipation you need to loosen up with a severe bout of chronic dysentery.
Wow.
I'll take it.
Beth, and I need your help, the woman whispered. They're going to find us. You order that omelette, you'll need a priest to help your asshole. Luckily, I have a friend. She looked up. And reading my name tag and using my name as a creepo... She froze, dropping her notepad onto the table. The woman in front of her looked deep into her eyes that could have been her mother's, with the furrowed brow of her father frowning at her. It was as if Beth were looking into a mirror. The lines in her face were lighter, her hair not ravaged by bad self-dye jobs. But it was her. Who was all she could manage. My name's Kay, she whispered, as her eyes searched around the room as if expecting something to happen at the reveal. I didn't want to come, you've got to believe me, but it's been 2 weeks and they hadn't returned. I'd run out of food, and I started to remember what they told me about that you worked in a... I know where I work, dude. Who the fuck are you? Mirror Universe me? Are you the chameleon? A living warning that I shouldn't have started smoking because your skin looks way better than mine?
The chameleon.
Who told you I worked here? Kay looked at her like she was the crazy one who hadn't had a fucking Reploid turn up at their work. Mum and Dad, who else? To say it was like a gut punch to Beth was an understatement. It was more like a when Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat used to uppercut you with that sledgehammer punch. Ain't no fucking jump kick gonna get you out of that one.
Yeah.
You got to sweep.
Oh, people.
You mean my parents, right? I just want to clarify that. Kay smiled. I know this is all a bit sudden. I know that they wanted us to meet when they were ready, but... She waved emphatically. Hi. I don't have any siblings, Beth swallowed. Was this what a stroke felt like? Not any alive ones anyhow. Kay took Beth's hand, standing and pulling her to the back entrance. They didn't tell you, did they? Maybe now the secret's out, it will make them a bit more talkative. Listen, I know this is going to be as comforting as a sandpaper fleshlight, Kay, but
Wow.
I doubt that.
Christmas is coming.
Very comforting.
But I doubt that. Unless you've got like a really good Ouija board. She threw her thumb back over her shoulder towards the counter, where the urn containing her ancestors was propped up against the till.
Wow.
As Kay started crying and
Why
doing
are we on this show, Josh? What's the point of us?
I don't know. I guess that every day.
As Kay started crying and doing that quivering lip, ugly crying bullshit, Beth realised that maybe that wasn't the best way to break that particular news. Kay stood and hugged Beth hard among the smell of fish. It was a loving hug, and Beth was shocked by it so much that she found herself returning it. But while her sister was sobbing, Beth stayed ashen-faced. The fact that her parents were dead might hit her soon, but for the moment, she was as dry as a post-menopausal woman wearing asbestos underwear chain-watching Fox News. Currently...
You're a poet.
Sir. Sir. Save some words for the rest of us.
Currently, all she could think of was something Kay had said. Wait, what did you mean they're coming for us? The bell on the door rang, and Beth spun to face the man who had entered. He was about 6'5", built like a supermodel, but one without a fashion sense. He wore grey...
Thanks for putting me in this story.
That's all right, that's okay. He wore grey chinos with black loafers and no socks, a white shirt rolled up to the elbows, and a shiny grey waistcoat that looked like those things that marathon runners put on at the finish line.
Metal?
God, it smells like Epstein Island in here, he said.
Oh my God! I have to
Because
leave
they
the
did
show.
a lot of fishing.
I have to leave the show.
Wafting a
I
hat.
can't be around this.
He said, he's a villain. He said, wafting a hand in front of his nose before he set his sights on the two women and removed a gun from his waistband. Great. 2 birds, 1 clip. I know you're a misogynist and all, but calling us birds isn't exactly a done thing, sir. The man laughed and pulled down his reflective blue Wayfarer knockoffs. I probably should have introduced myself. They call me the man. You two have got to come with me. Beth pushed Kay behind her and stepped back to the emergency exit at the back of the diner. Listen, little Lord Teabag, you're about as threatening as a brony's pickup lines, so let us go and you can go back to posturing at bars for cheap drinks.
Again, very?
trying to think of one.
The man laughed. Listen, I'm British, love. We might have fooled you with the Paddington fucking Bear and Downton Abbey, but we're the most horrible fucking bastards the world has ever produced.
Are what you eat.
Have you seen a Hollywood movie post-2000? All the baddies? Brits. Have you seen what we eat? We eat fucking entrails in pastry made with pure fat and blood pudding for breakfast. You think you know pain? Try being in the home end at a West Ham game in the wrong shirt when your team are winning. We're like Satan's stepchildren, but the red-headed ones he beat and abused.
Oh no, Josh.
And,
Thanks for putting me in your story twice, Rich.
and now I'm going to colonise your freedom like we did half the fucking world. He lifted the pistol and levelled it at Beth. Now, come with me. Beth, a voice came from the kitchen, and Gino popped out with the biggest slice of Swiss cheese you had ever seen. Beth, you seen the size of this slice of cheese? The man whirled and unloaded on Gino. He held the Swiss cheese up, but unfortunately the bullets whizzed through the holes in the cheese and peppered the chef.
Why wouldn't they go through the cheese? Bulletproof?
We'll never know because they went all through the holes.
He's either really good or really bad at shooting.
Holy shit, Rich. I know I've said a lot of things are my favorite joke you've made, but that might be my favorite.
Gino slammed into the counter and slid down it, leaving a trail of blood behind him until he slumped to the floor dead. As the man returned to the women, they were gone. the fire escape door hanging open into the alley beyond, and an empty urn spinning on the countertop. Gino's car sped along the city street, Beth barely able to cobble a coherent thought together as she looked at her long-lost sister in the passenger seat. What the fuck have you gotten me into? Most family reunions, just so you know, involve presents, badly cooked food with no spice or seasoning, and finding out the reason your parents have diarrhea is because they've got brain worms and have been dry huffing ivermectin. Not shootouts with the muffin man, okay? Wait, Mum and Dad are dead. Kay sobbed into her hands. I thought they'd been, detained. I thought they'd come back. Well, they probably meant to, but they hadn't counted on a drunk driver turning their car into a pretzel, Beth shrugged as she checked for anyone following in the mirror. Look, I have no idea where to go. Who was that guy? Dad mentioned him. He's been tasked with shutting down our parents' life's work, Kay said. Listen, Dad worked in telesales and Mum was an elementary teacher. Beth swerved to avoid a car and looked at Kay with a raised eyebrow. What was the guy worried about? Dad selling an extra stapler and Mum inadvertently stopping another school shooter with no training?
Oh.
Kay looked up from her lap to stare at Beth. They were scientists. They were trying to find a way to save our lives. Beth shook her head. Look, whatever. That dude was clearly watching the diner. I don't have much of a support network. The closest I have to friends is a priest, and he's not the battling type unless you count battling the institutional need to sex up teenage boys that the Catholic Church have been failing for 1,000 years.
Hey, maybe the next 1,000 will be better.
Maybe. They've tried it one way.
Maybe we should change our ways.
They've tried
Maybe
nothing and they're all out of
time.
ideas.
We can't not molest, so I'm out. I'm out of ideas.
I think I know a place we can hide, Kay whispered. The car pulled into an alley downtown next to a glamorous piss-stained dumpster, and Beth turned the car off and sank back into her chair. Okay then, so Dad's secret back alley science, was it meth by any chance? Kay opened the door and headed to a door graffitied with a swastika. She pushed a panel and it slid to one side to reveal a keypad. Beth sneered at the graffiti. She stepped out the car and joined her. Just what were Fatherland and Dr. Mumgler involved in?
Sick rules.
This isn't Josh Henderson's bookcase. There's no need for the Mein Kampf stuff.
A third reference? Amazing. Rich, just you wait, my friend. Just you wait.
The door slid open with a mechanical Star Trek magic, the real kind, not two idiots pulling them apart, and a smell of formaldehyde and chemicals wafted up to meet their noses. As their eyes adjusted to the light, a set of stairs revealed themselves and Kay started to make her way down, gesturing Beth to follow, and having nothing else to do, Beth did. The lights followed them, flickering on in a halogen tick as they descended into a cold, metal room, and Beth moved over to a glass wall. As the light behind flickered on, the mirror reflected her own surprise back at her. Then her reflection twitched, and Beth fell backwards in shock.
What the fuck?
It was a tube that contained some naked version of her, but not quite developed. Her body was twisted and broken, armless and in pain. Beth looked up and down. The only thing to say who it was a letter, the letter C. What is this place? Beth whispered, her shaking voice echoing in the hall of a lab. The lab was full of tubes. They were creating clones. Of her, of the one they lost, Kay said. They just needed to perfect the recipe. She walked along the row, stopping at her own tube, labelled with the letter K. I was one of the last ones. The one they were going to set free. Beth couldn't breathe. Her long-dead older sister, the one that had stopped her parents from being anything other than strangers to her, was standing right in front of her, albeit a Control-C, Control-V version. You're a clone of her. Oh, fucking hell, came a voice from the end of the lab. They'd said they'd done it, but I didn't think they'd gone this far. The man stood at the staircase, between them and running. Beth turned to Kay. Is there any other way out of here? Kay whispered. If the lab has a containment breach or a fire, it will lock up, and without their password, it will stay locked. Beth nodded and Kay ran to the back of the room and down a corridor. The man seemed unimpressed. She can't hide, you know. Fucker hasn't lived outside of this place. She'll stick out like a sore thumb, he smirked. Why? Beth sneered. The man shrugged. Who the fuck knows? Celebrities wanting their legacies to go on forever. Some asshole with money needing a new liver after his Bolivian snowman his original one into oblivion.
Into Bolivian.
Nice.
Elon Musk wanting to perfect his brain microchips on living test subjects who don't have rights or access to social media yet. All I know is that someone has paid me a shit ton of money to bring you both in and turn you over. I didn't want to hurt you, Beth, so why don't you just come with me? She walked over to him, hands in her pockets, before pulling out a handful of her dear parents and throwing it into the man's face. It was about time they'd done something for her. He was blinded, wafting his gun around in her general direction, and even Sister Dingle's self-defense classes enabled her to wrestle the gun away from him.
Sister Dingle?
Yep. I'm not putting any effort into the names. He tried his hardest to rub human remains out of his eyes he would definitely get pink eye in now. He stood...
I don't think you can get pink eye from that.
Well,
There are butts in there.
There's butts in there. There's buttholes.
He stood, tears streaming down his face, and lifted his fist. Fine. Hands, then. I mean, why change how you spend your nights normally, Beth said, and lifted the gun.
Nice.
You don't scare me. You're not a killer, Beth. He marched towards her. She emptied a whole clip of bullets into the man, and when she was done, she threw the empty gun at his falling corpse. My own folks didn't even know me, Queen Elizabeth. Rest in piss, Your Majesty.
Fucking America, bitch!
An alarm sounded, and a bunch of red lights flashed on and off as the lab started shutting down around Beth. Kay, you don't have to worry anymore. The guy is dead. Well, about that, Kay's voice came over the intercom. I don't want to go back into a test tube. Beth's hand crept to her mouth as she walked down the long lab towards the back control room where Kay stood at the computer. Kay, I'm not going to make you go away. You're my sister. Kay laughed. Oh my God, you are such an idiot. Beth's hand rolled along the wall until she came to another set of tubes. But these ones were open like Kay's. One of them was labelled P. You thought you were human, didn't you? Kay said, the malice dripping from her voice. I had to hear it every single day. Precious little Beth P. Our new Beth. She's nearly perfect, even with her damaged heart. You weren't malformed, or broken, or emotionally unstable like I was, apparently. Beth couldn't breathe, couldn't speak, and she felt a pain in her chest, a sudden cold that crept over her entire body. She sat down in a sweat. And then they spent the rest of their time trying to fix you, harvesting us and trying to grow you a new heart. So many of us lost for nothing, sister. The hatred was making her voice waver and shake with fury. Beth felt pains in her arms, a dead weight at her side. And now, you're going to sit here, amongst your sisters who died for you, and follow in their footsteps. Kay turned the lights off, and Beth didn't even have the energy to scream. The following Sunday, Father James Fairchild finished his sermons and watched as his parishioners left the church into the cold December air. One woman stayed seated on the bench, and he went to go see her, only to realise it was Beth. Hey, he said with a smile. I didn't expect to see you here. How are you feeling? She looked at him with a smile he had never seen. Like a new woman, she said. Hello, Dr. Lee Wen here. Sometimes things just aren't what they seem, are they? Sometimes you think you have a smoking hot woman and she turns out to be an evil psychopath. I mean, actually, that happens more often than not. Am I right, fellas?
You are correct, sir.
Women, am I right?
Control, this is Wen. What's happening? We'll contain it. We can't risk... I don't care. Just do it. I'm sorry, I have to go now. Something has come up. Join us next time on The Omnizone. The end.
That was great.
This motherfucker has Foley?
Yeah,
what the hell?
Klaxons. To be fair, all British people have klaxons.
Yeah,
true.
just tell me on my D-Day alarm.
I was actually fairly scared when those klaxons started going off. I was like, what's happening
yeah.
to Rich?
I kind of thought it was Evan going, Mom!
Well, he would be yelling Rachel.
Yes, he would.
Mommy! No, that was good. That was super good.
This story was good as hell, and there are a lot of overlap between your story and mine, but we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
Yeah, I wonder if somebody mentions Rich in their story. I wonder if we're gonna get a little payback coming.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
I guess.
Payback
So you
for
gotta
what?
stick
Talking
around.
about the books you own?
You know what? At this point, I might as well just buy it.
Yeah, I might as well get the book back out of the drawer where I hid it for a little while.
Oh, fuck.
No, that story was fucking excellent, dude. I loved
Oh, good.
it.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Very Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Also,
So good.
like, perhaps your funniest story ever. Like,
It's tough.
the Marvin Bin
that
Laden was such
very
a
funny.
high, right?
Yeah, Martin Bin Laden is,
But
I mean...
this was such a like high level the entire episode.
I think the more evil the stories are getting, the easier the jokes are getting this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot
When
of...
you live around it, it just comes natural.
But, like, there's a lot of shitbag characters in these stories.
I understand.
The Man, Josh Henderson.
Yeah, when I heard about the Man, I was like, hey, that's the guy that keeps subjugating African Americans.
That's the guy who...
He is. He's done all of that.
He's dead now, though, so it's everything's fine again.
Until there's a
Right.
new man.
God.
Right. 1 story down, 2 to go. We will see you in 10 seconds or so.
It's like 45 seconds.
In 45 seconds or so.
I'm not waiting that long.
I know, just turn off the show right now.
Welcome back, Squires. We are now at part 2, and it is time for some Christmas jeers. We're heading over to Spooky Vision.
This is definitely a Christmas story and has anything to do with that.
It's snowing.
The
Just
date
imagine
was
it's
July
snowing outside.
2nd.
It's definitely not snowing in the story. It's important.
It's
Anyway,
snowing somewhere in the world.
It's like 57 degrees where we live today,
Yeah.
so, like, Fahrenheit. Like if it was Celsius, we'd be dead. But
the title of my story is Waffle House of Horrors.
damn.
Angela Chambers hadn't slept very well the night before. Something about the rain on her window pane drumming away had kept her tossing and turning, just on the edge of falling asleep. She felt a strange burning in her chest as well that just didn't let her rest. Also, she had just met her twin sister who was separated from her at birth on an Ancestry-style knockoff site I'm too lazy to name.
Well, see you next week. Good story, Jeff.
And had set up a time and place the next day to meet and finally get to talk face to face. So that was also kind of weighing on her mind a little bit. If you could figure that shit, I probably should have mentioned that first, huh?
You got there.
All right,
Buried the
Jesus.
lead.
The genealogy site was called, like, Deadbeats Database. Or maybe, like, no, your grandma wasn't a Cherokee princess. Your family's just racist. Unless you pay us enough, then it's true. .com.
Not, just for clarification, not pay Story Lords, pay the Ancestry site.
No, pay
Although you
story.
can
Also,
pay
pay
us.
story lords. Yeah.
Are you happy now? I was creative in this one. Fuck you. Angela knew she'd been given up for adoption at birth already. That's what had led her to doing the whole spit in a vial and mail it to a corporation thing anyway. Normally, the internet paid women for doing shit like that, but you had to pay them for it this time.
Yes, the internet. Not Josh.
Finding out she had a twin sister who wasn't given up at birth seemed to stir up every bit of dread and self-loathing she'd ever had inside of her that had settled to the bottom right back up to the top. Some therapist was going to make bank off of her at some point, but still, she had to know why. She was sitting in her car now, staring down at her phone. Her own face stared back at her with a smile draped across it she didn't recognize, and eyes she'd never seen look back at her in quite this way before. She hadn't understood the uncanny valley outside of that fucking Snow Train movie with Tom Hanks before, but now she knew it a little too well. Lizzie Temple, she repeated to herself in a low, hushed whisper, even though not a soul could hear her inside her own car. The name felt cold and stale in her mouth, and that felt shameful to her in that moment. It was her twin sister's name. She felt she should know it by heart after a lifetime together that never happened. She peered out the front windshield of her car at the dingy neon yellow light of the Waffle House sign that towered above her in the night sky.
Nothing good ever happens at a Waffle House.
What a fucking weirdo place to meet your twin sister for the first time in your life. The official restaurant of domestic abuse.
My son won't feed me!
The only eatery in existence to be sponsored by the Legion of Doom to find new henchmen. The sky was dark already. The bullshit that is daylight savings time had already taken its toll. But this still felt like it was a fucking weirdo time to meet for the first time as well. She had suggested a coffee shop in the town directly between where the two of them had ended up living in the morning. Lizzie had been pretty adamant about this particular Waffle House at this particular time. She hadn't even stepped out of the car yet, but Angela could smell the old stale blood, burnt meat, and thick, cummy smell that lingered in the air inside the building already.
You're making me want to go to Waffle House.
Smells like Epstein Island in here.
Oh my god! She looked at her phone for a moment more and raised her thumb to switch tabs, but lingered silently. Her digits shook slightly with a tremoring discomfort as it waited. She finally gave in and switched the tab over to an old news article from 9 years ago. Mr. and Mrs. Donovan Temple's home engulfed in flame. Only one survivor, their daughter Lizzie. The photo of two smiling strangers standing behind an exact copy of Angela when she was 12. It all turned her stomach harder and faster than the idea of a quote-unquote thick, cummy smell that everyone would recognize, and the fact that we were all just cool with that phrase a second ago, like it was a totally normal thing to know.
Look, I mean, we make it, so we're gonna smell it.
She shoved her phone into her handbag and yanked the driver's side door open with a lurch sideways. Her old Converse splashed into the rippling, muddy rainwater that covered the old parking lot like a sheet, and she turned to slam the door shut and lock it. The rain had never quite stopped. It just pissed out of the sky now, like how your mama likes it. Because it reminds her of her sorority days, whatever that means. They apparently called her Pissy Spacek, if that helps. I believe they updated that to Pissy Tegan in the sorority alumni mailing list these days. But enough about the secret life of Walter Shitty. She also loves scat. Angela pulled her Eagles ball cap, go birds, down over her eyes a little. She was trying to seem as inconspicuous as possible in a desire not to be perceived at all, and made her way in. The tinkling of the bell above the door heralded her entrance to everybody already inside, but not one of them turned to even look at her. A middle-aged man in a downy vest, dirty jeans, work boots, and a red trucker hat that said, "If this truck's a rockin', then some broad's getting a cockin' on it," in white letters, sat at the bar.
Right. We have to make that hat.
Hunched over an empty plate and a cold coffee. Somehow the hat was still far, far better than the MAGA hat she initially clocked it as.
Yeah.
An elderly...
One of them is a Nazi hat, the other one's about fucking broads.
If this truck's a rockin', then some broad's getting a cockin'.
I mean, technically, that's true regardless. Somewhere in the world, it might not be a...
Exactly.
Rich is big on somewhere in the world. This episode.
He's right. He's thinking macro over here.
I'm multicultural, what can I say?
He's thinking macro-roni. An elderly couple were seated in the corner booth, arguing about under their breath about something. The man wore a black suit with a tie halfway undone and a pair of horn-rimmed glasses. The woman wore a long black dress with some kind of dark blue ruffle at the waist and a pillbox hat. They look as if they'd just come from a funeral and hadn't agreed on if the deceased had deserved it or not. She couldn't make out what they were saying well, but only caught the phrase, "she just won't do," out of one of them. Swingers, perhaps? She shuddered at the thought. 3 younger men sat in the booth behind them, all of them dressed in athleisure clothing that wouldn't be out of place on an Eastern European, but were all glowing like a 400-watt light bulb with how cracker they were.
But I'm cracker.
One of them smiled a crooked tooth smile, showing off his gold tooth to the other two, who oohed and awed at the bad dentistry. They smelled of eau de toilette in every meaning of the phrase, which is the slightest hint of fromage de tête, if you catch my meaning. Gross as fuck, man. Not that I made that joke, that you understood French. Stop being a traitor and have some freedom fries, bitch.
Damn, it's 2006 up in this bitch.
Anyway, there were also 2 younger women on that side of the restaurant. One a waitress leaning over the counter, and another a tough-looking woman wearing a leather jacket and sporting a pinkish-red mohawk that had fallen over from lack of hair products for the day. They were trying to be as secretive as possible, but were fairly obviously flirting with each other. The waitress kept giggling and then covering her mouth and pretending to clean the edge of the counter near the leather lady. Their giggling was earning hateful glances from pretty much everyone else in the room. Everyone except the mirror image of Angela, who sat alone, staring out the window at the growing intensity of the rain, moving up from a light trickle to a soft downpour. I say a mirror image, but it was like a funhouse mirror, if anything. Everything between them was different, but it was all built on the same Mr. Potato Head base, as the French say. or Monsieur Apple of the Earth Head, or whatever the fuck they call it.
They do.
Lizzie Temple had her hands folded over one another nervously in front of her, tapping the butt of her palm on the table slowly and rhythmically. She wore much girlier clothing, Angela thought to herself. A yellow raincoat over top of a short skirt and high boots, a slightly blousy top and pinkish lipstick. Her fingernails sparkled in the gray-green light of the nearly burnt-out light bulb above her. This was a Waffle House, after all.
We're never going to get that sponsorship, dude.
Who wants it?
Hi. Well, Angela tried to introduce herself as she loomed over the table, chuckling at the end of her sentence at the idea that Lizzie didn't recognize her own face staring back down at her. Angela, oh my God, Lizzie spouted out in the most stereotypical Southern accent that Angela had ever heard, leaping to her feet and throwing her arms around Angela's body like a vice. Well, slap my roasty posterior and call me a deep dish harlot. It is you.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, Angela sputtered, slowly raising her hands to place them gingerly on Lizzie's back. Her family hadn't been big huggers, so this felt entirely alien to her, even beyond the fact she was hugging the woman in the mirror. Her family was much more keen on sports and drinking to show their emotions to one another.
Yeah, go Birds.
And for the first time in her life, she felt very much like she fit in better with them than right now. Lizzie, it's really cool to, meet. Oh, it's wonderful, TBH. I've honestly been so worried lately, and you come riding in out of the blue like some kind of bright knight on a sliding steed. It's like storybook and whatnot, Lizzie cried out, finally releasing her tight grip on her sister and flopping back down merrily into her ass-encrusted Waffle House seat. A cloud of human detritus scattering into the air from her landing.
God!
Oh? Angela asked in an open-ended tone, slowly and carefully taking her seat across from Lizzie, making certain to put her handbag on the seat next to her and up off the sticky floor. She felt a burning desire within her to correct all the malapropisms in what she had just said, but she bit her tongue as best she could. What do you mean? Oh, we'll have time for modern stuff later, sis. Let's catch up in things. We've not seen each other since we were inside our mama's butt together. Lizzie waved her off. Come on, do tell. What kind of heroin life and foster care do you got? Is it worthy of a Hallmark special? Well, Angela was taken aback at the complete rude, brusque way her sister was taking the situation, and looked around absently for a waiter or anything, finding no one but the other customers going about their business. I got adopted pretty quickly. I guess we must be pretty cute. I never got any complaints, especially from the fellers, Lizzie said with a link, then paused and leaned in with a hand over her mouth to block the others from seeing. I mean, 'cause they all wanted to fuck me, she said quietly, then leaned back in her seat. And so they did. But go on. Angela suddenly felt in the pit of her stomach that perhaps she'd made the wrong decision coming here.
And so they did.
Oh, don't go hammy now, sis. Let me know about your history. There's got to be something in this story to happen, right? Lizzie shit on the fourth wall.
Fucking Deadpool.
I got adopted by my parents, played in baseball in school, got into college on it, got my degree in chemistry. Angela summed up in a bland, even tone, kind of resenting having to lay out all her cards on the table to a complete stranger suddenly. So naturally, with a chemistry degree, I work at an automotive warehouse shipping parts. Economy sucks dick, just like you do, apparently. Speaking of you, what's your life story then? Oh, I must have really overstepped there. I'm so sorry. I was just so excited to meet you. I must have really beamed it, huh? Lizzie said with a fingernail placed between her teeth anxiously. She looked around the room like an animal that realizes it's been caught for a moment before catching herself and smiling as evenly as she could. Well, okay, I'll tell you my backstory then. It's only fair, right? Angela suddenly felt a little guilty for her feelings and for allowing them to seep into conversation, but couldn't really formulate a way to say that in any kind of normal person manner, so she just nodded, looking around the room desperately for a waiter again and finding no one. The trucker at the bar had started smoking a cigarette by then.
Inside? What year is this?
Okie dokie then. I'll take that strained, distant silence as a yes, Lizzie began, rubbing her chin thoughtfully for a moment. Well, I was a beauty queen as a child. I toured all over the country with that little pug girl from the television, Honey Boo Boo. You remember her? I swear, that must have been at least parental negligence, right? But somehow it wasn't. Anywho, I lived with our birth parents for a long while, going to school and then college. Let me tell you, it weren't no picnic trying to fuck all the boys at my schools while I was doing it in a My Little Pony themed bedroom right under Daddy's nose. But somehow I still got my ends in, and I do mean plural. Right. We've established the looseness. Angela interjected, craning her neck around the end of the booth to see if a waiter was coming to find absolutely no sign of one yet again. How about a little fucking service here? Do they do waiters in the Waffle House anymore? Well, I certainly do. But where was I? Lizzie began, tapping the table with a fingernail. Oh, yes. Well, I went to college for nursing and decided I didn't much care for it after a couple of times fucking doctors. They all gotta use Blue Chews to keep their old Flappy Birds up. You know that? No fun at all. This episode's sponsored by Flappy Bird. It's probably back. Go back and check the App Store. You thought it was going to be Blue Chew sponsored, didn't you? Fucking dipshit. Well, you're right. Get that dick up with Blue Chew brand boner peels. This time they're real TM.
Adult Swim as fuck right now. I love it.
But still, I ended up going into teaching. I taught 3rd and 4th grade math for a few years, and now I'm in a cult. Wait, what? Angela whipped her head back around to look at Lizzie with concern on her face. What, the cult? It's way better than it sounds, trust me. Lizzie waved her off with a soft chuckle and a shake of her head. It's really helped me get back on the straight and narrow. I don't know if you could pick this up about me. I'm a big empath, so I know you probably got the crystal power like me. But I used to be a bit of a floozy in my time. I'm not trying to slut shame, Angela said with a shake of her head, feeling like the conversation was veering a little too far away from the cult for her liking. Oh, I'm still a floozy. I just do it for the Lord now, Lizzie said wistfully, placing her cheek on her fist and propping her head up. It's a real nice outfit, I think. So do you, like, fuck Jesus now, or? Angela asked, before suddenly a thought wriggled its way into her head. Wait, what's that, darling? Lizzie said, tilting her head. You said you lived with our birth parents until recently, right? Like, after college? Angela stared hard at Lizzie's eyes to see the reaction. What she caught was a slight look of recognition and then resignation in Lizzie. Oh, damn, you found that article in the Gazette, didn't you? I don't do a lot of Googling and research and whatnot, so I didn't think you'd look. Look, I'm sorry, sis. I'm just trying to seem a little bit more normal, you know? What the fuck? Angela sharply growled out, placing her hand on the table between them. Why the fuck would you lie to me about that? You're the one who even started asking about life stories and shit. Our parents died in a goddamn fire and you're lying about me living with them? Oh, don't get upset, Angela. I'm sorry. I really am. Lizzie grasped onto Angela's hand tightly with both of hers. I was just in a real tight spot before I found out about you, you know? They ain't ones to really let things like this go much and all. We all gotta do our part to bring about salvation, sis. There ain't nothing we can do about that. But then you came along. Angela tried to wrench her hand away from Lizzie, but couldn't, her iron grip tightening and intertwining their fingers together to make it even harder to budge. Don't be like that, sis. Look, I know it ain't fair. I was living it just a few days ago, Lizzie said with her eyes wide. They needed more of our blood, you know? That was what was part of the thing. It was in the heart of it, and it had beat it all out, you know?
What the fuck?
What the fuck are you talking about? Angela screamed out, trying to wrench her hand away from Lizzie. The other people in the Waffle House all turned to look at them with varying levels of concern on their faces, but none of them made a move to do anything about it. It's the Waffle House, after all.
Not in my back Waffle House yard.
The fire burns away sin, they said. They didn't have enough, but I did. I was the last one. They needed my blood, sis. Our blood. I don't want to burn, Lizzie screamed out, and then all of a sudden completely let go of Angela's hand and sat back into her seat. Angela yanked her arm back and stood up from her seat, breathing heavily as she stared down at Lizzie silently. I'm just fucking with you, goddammit. You were just starting to piss me off with your holier-than-thou ass attitude about all this, Lizzie said with a nonchalant, annoyed eyebrow raise and head tilt.
What the fuck is happening?
I'm not trying to change the world here or anything, but I'd love for us to actually be able to start out on the right foot at least. I ain't had a family for a real long time, and lying about them still being around is the only thing I've even got left of them. I really thought I'd at least get a chance to have a sister before she turned her nose up at me. Angela stood stunned, and then suddenly felt a gigantic wave of shame wash over her in that moment. She had arrived timid, and then immediately got defensive and standoffish to this girl who was desperate for any kind of connection and had been reaching out to her. A girl with her own face. And and she couldn't get past her own lack of love for herself to see her as a real person. I'm really sorry, Lizzie. I didn't think at all, to be honest, Angela said with haphazard words falling from her lips. She rubbed at her cheek for a moment and then tried to steady her mind. Oh, shucks, it's all right, Angela. I probably came on way too hard. And lying to you about what happened to Mom and Dad ain't helping nobody, really. Just making me feel more normal for a second or two, Lizzie said softly, smiling a strained smile. Angela did something then she never thought she'd be the first to do, and reached her hand over to her sister's on the table and placed it on top of it. The two of them smiled at each other for a moment before Angela drew her hand back gingerly. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm sorry. I'm not really used to all this emotion, and Angela said, before her leading words followed by pointing a finger at the tear on the edge of her eye, smearing her dark mascara already. Plus, I've really got a blast piss. They both shared a quick laugh together before Angela turned from the table and walked across the dining area, past the other patrons, towards the door in the back labeled bathrooms. But in that moment, her sneakers squeaking on the vomit-stained linoleum filling her ears, the sudden silence of the place filled her with an insurmountable dread which gnawed at her insides ravenously all at once. She quickly turned on her heels to look back at her new sister, and found her with her face down on the table in the booth, head in her hands, sobbing as hard as she could, as quietly as she could manage. What? Before she could form another coherent thought, Angela felt something big and heavy collide with the back of her skull and rattle her eyes in her sockets.
My dick!
A searing hot pain slicing through her like a razor and dragging her legs out from under her. The world spun up towards her, and light gave way to deep, swirling darkness as everything came to a sudden, violent stop. The rain pelted her face, the deluge of icy cold droplets stirring her from the pit of inky blackness she had lost herself in. The streaks ran down her face and drenched all of her clothing. She could feel the dampness chilling her to the very bone as she finally forced her eyes open and focused. She was staring up at the stormy skies above her, watching a streak of bright white dance across the dark gray and black clouds that hid the night sky from sight. There was a smell in the air, all at once foreign and familiar, and it permeated everything. She tried to focus.
Epstein Island.
I'm going to be thinking about that way too much and just retching for days.
Was that the smell?
Merry Christmas.
She tried to focus her thoughts, but there was a deafening ringing in her ears which blotted out all sound from within and without to nothingness. Only the dull thudding of rain against her head could be heard. A familiar face moved into her periphery and stared down at her, cold-eyed and empty. Her own face. The words were dull and rang hollow in the doldrum, but she spoke to herself as she looked down at herself. "They were going to burn me, Angela," she whispered hoarsely, just above the heavy fall of raindrops clattering. "Burn away the sin in me to perfect my blood, to make it holy, to fuel the heart of God." It was a righteous fate. Angela began to try to move, but found that she couldn't. She couldn't draw her arms out from behind her back. They felt too far away to even feel yet, but there was something else holding them in place. "But I was afraid," the doppelganger spoke down to her, her face distorting in the darkness and the rain, to appear eyeless, toothless, just masses of inky black where they should be. "Then you came along. Your blood is my blood. I could live, but you..." The thing that looked like her smiled an empty black smile down at her. "You could be me." Angela's head slowly stopped ringing, the feeling coming back into her appendages as she stared, open mouthed and wide-eyed at what whispered to her in the night. She could feel sharp things stabbing into her back and sides, but couldn't turn her eyes to see them fully. She struggled against some kind of binding, something holding her head in place, strained to see, and from the corner of her hazy vision, she saw hundreds of sticks stacked crisscrossed over one another, piled up around her where she lay. The sudden realization of the smell in the air registered in her mind and drove her into a wild panic. Gasoline. "No, please God!" Angela screamed out, her words slurring from her head wound. Lizzie stood up over her and took a few steps away, standing amongst a small crowd of people. In low voices, an older couple argued with one another in the rain, the man holding an umbrella over the two of them. He looked down his horn-rimmed glasses at her as she adjusted her pillbox hat. She'll do just fine. Her blood's the same, the old man said in a hushed, argumentative tone. It will not appease God, Henry, the older woman snapped back at him under her breath. 3 young men held bundles of sticks and small cans of gasoline and stacked them further up beside her on either side, pouring out the liquid on top of it with empty, distant eyes. One of them smiled down at her with a gawking, hateful grin, punctuated by a glinting gold tooth in his mouth. 2 women held each other in the rain, but at arm's length, trying not to appear to be romantically touching. The leather-clad of them held a small red wooden cross to her chest, and the other, in a waitress uniform, tried not to look at it. They looked deeply ashamed. And finally, a middle-aged man in a down vest and red trucker hat had stepped above Angela and lit a match on the back of his hand. His voice boomed over the storm as he held it aloft, his once dulled, emotionless eyes wild with abandon now. We will devour their sin! Through fire and through teeth this world shall be cleansed! Each one of them there, watching with empty, thoughtless eyes, raised their hands to the heavens and cried Amen, loudly enough that none of them could hear the screeching, crying, retching screams of Angela Chambers as the flame ignited her body and engulfed her completely. The fire burned away at her, ate through her like a glutton, and through the searing white-hot pain within it, she could see clearly past the storming clouds for just a moment, and the moon looked back at her. The end.
God.
Oh my God!
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah, it's weird how similar our stories ended up.
We synced in quite well this week.
You guys syncing your periods together?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm bleeding out of my ass right now, so...
That's from me.
Oh, God.
What?
Smells like Epstein Island in here.
Oh, come on.
That was good, man.
I love that story.
If it's that smell, it smells a lot more like a Diddy party, I think.
Yeah, that's
that's
a
true.
baby oil smell.
No, thank you.
No, that you are like so good at just turning on a dime and like you're like, oh, it's the Waffle House, like, haha, that's funny, and then it's like not funny.
I'm trying to I'm trying to get you to laugh the 3 out and then scare the 2 out of you.
And then you 3 on the 2 or 2 on the 3. Yeah.
Well, I think
forever.
What was really good about this one is the fact that it was already an uncomfortable setting, but for a completely different reason, and it just pulled the rug, right? And that's like that's like what the best horror films do. When you think about like things like Get Out.
Incredibly uncomfortable being around white people for a weekend.
Well, I mean, we'll find that. But uncomfortable for a different reason than it ultimately becomes. And you don't feel any less uncomfortable. You're just all of a sudden it switches from uncomfortable to my God, my life is in danger. And this story was like that.
It makes you want to just scream like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Go home!" You know. Yeah, that's what this story. I was like, this is a bad idea.
I sort of like twisted the story twice with this one, which I thought was a little bit more effective. Where like it gets creepy for a second, and then I'm like, nah, just kidding.
Yeah, it's smart.
Twisty motherfucker.
And then a lady gets burned to death on a Waffle House roof.
She'll probably become part of the ingredients now.
I mean, she's not the first. It definitely won't be the last.
Got burned to death on a Waffle House roof? True.
Shit goes down at a Waffle House.
We're never getting them as a sponsor.
We got Blue Chew and Flappy Bird. It's fine.
It's true.
Flappy Bird, it'll always come back.
Like chlamydia. It's the chlamydia of the app world.
Clappy Bird.
Nice. Incredibly nice. Long Lost Siblings threw me for a fucking loop, but after thinking about it for a little bit, I was like, oh, I can use that to be sort of unnerving before it becomes scary.
And
you guys are good at this.
But like diners are unsettling as well. There's something about like,
late night. Yeah.
That sort of like you can see into it, but you can't see out because it's too bright and fluorescent in there. That sort of stuff.
It's
nobody at a diner is like at their best. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going into a diner and like upstanding people aren't there.
Yeah.
And it's very strange.
You're there
like,
because you need to be, not because you want to be, right?
Yes.
Imagine like, I thought about giving like a little bit more room for this, but I thought like it was snappier without it. But like, imagine like going into like a diner or something at night and it feels like everyone is like looking at you, and then it turns out they are all waiting to kill you.
Yeah.
Been there.
Terrifying.
Yeah, Jeff, we've been to a Waffle House before.
Josh has had many a burned appendage on a Waffle House roof.
They grow back.
It's the power of redheads.
That's right.
Lizard people. We're going to take another break now, and we're going to be back for a trip to Darrenos for your Christmas special. Christmas, Darrenosian, whatever happens there. I don't know where I'm going.
Keep pushing this, but I don't think any of these are Christmas stories.
I gotta agree with that.
Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll be right back. Welcome back for the final part of today's episode. Are you jazzed? Are you excited? Are you full of the Christmas spirit? Then let's head over to Darrenos.
It's anti-Christmas in Darrenos.
Shismas.
Shitsmas.
It's Anti-Christmas.
That's right. That's right. My story is called The Hellrose Diner. So
Nice.
in Philly, there was a place called the Melrose Diner.
I know.
They tore it down. It's just an empty, gaping wound in the city now.
That's much better.
I'm glad they tore that down.
Previously on Darrenos, the Next Generation. Dust to dust, motherfuck, Frank the Butler said as his face liquefied and then blew off from his skull like in Terminator 2 the next morning. What the absolute fuck happened here? Ugla said as she and Demi kicked over the rubble that was once a castle. Ew, Buffcat said as he held up a charred skull with fangs. It disintegrated in the air as he wiped the ash from his paws. Explosion sound!
Boom.
No! Boris shouted as the explosion ripped away his flesh and burnt his shadow into the ancient gray stone of the castle walls. From above rained down the last fragments of Princess Toadstool, now burnt and singed beyond repair. Her knowledge lost forever. Explosion sounds!
Boom.
Rich Masters ran his hand down Boris Bloodsuck's ashen white cheek tenderly. The two had been through hell these past few months, what with not being able to express their love physically. I'll never leave you again, Rich said as he gently kissed Boris on his pale lips. No, Boris interrupted, holding up a finger to stop Rich's kiss. I will. How does he talk?
Like a
I will
Dracula.
never leave you again, my love. He finished. He let lust take over as he now is kissing Rich so deeply that even the Balrog got a boner. What little clothing remained was now being torn off as the two lovers, nay, the two soulmates, were ravaging each other's body so thoroughly that neither remembered what even separated them in the first place.
God,
Boris
this is so hot.
Boris could smell the freshly drawn blood as his nails raked down Rich's rippling back muscles. The scent of his lover's juices sent Boris into an even more erotic frenzy.
Was this an Epstein Island moment as well?
Yeah. His nostrils flared with the scent of blood and sex.
I feel like you guys should Google what Epstein Island is real quick. Like,
Nah.
I don't want to be on the list. After a marathon fuck session of over 7 hours,
Wow.
the two lay in a now broken bed. The blankets soaked in so many fluids we'd have to send away to CSI New Orleans just to know exactly how much blood and cum was spilled.
I mean, I'm glad alternate Darren O'Smee is getting some.
This is real you.
this is the real you.
yeah.
No, I'm right here.
This is told in the past, idiot. This already happened to you.
Wow, Rich said Britishly.
Wow.
Wow, Boris replied. He took a cigarette out of its box and lit it with a flick of his finger. He inhaled the sweet smoke and held it in his lungs and then slowly breathed out through his nostrils. Those things will kill you, you know, Rich said. Turning his head toward Boris, the undead vampire, Boris chuckled, then laughed. Then Rich laughed, and soon the two of them were laughing together forever. Explosion sound! Grab my hand, Dan said, offering his arm. No, just... Mutt was losing his grip on the axe handle. If only the blacksmith had finished the grip. But then again, that would mean Mutt would be dead. Take the axe, Mutt screamed, and then let go. Mutt and Axewound fell down yet again into a lake of fire. The axe held firm in the rocks as Dan held out an empty hand. What the fuck was that all about? Asked the Red Queen. Explosions, many of them! Now the continuation of the greatest story ever told. Suck my dick, Jesus.
Damn, Jesus really getting fucked in this episode, huh?
That was just the intro.
You know, that was the easiest thing I ever wrote. It was like I was there writing that thing about Rich, other Jeff.
Other Jeff.
You were there. Do you not remember?
He was in the cuck chair in the corner.
You were drawing us like French girls.
Well, if it isn't the Queen of Comeliness herself, the vampire lord purred. Boris, you melted or exploded or some shit. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't really know. Or care much. Whatever. Axewound said, confused. The vampire lord laughed, but not like a vampire would laugh. He kind of giggled like a little schoolgirl, which, in turn, made his minion Giggles also giggle from the other room. Soon the two of them were giggling back and forth between rooms. Axe looked at this vampire, confused even more now. Okay, what's going on here? You know what? I don't actually care. It was great to see you, Boris. Have fun being king of this shit heap, I guess, she said as she went for the exit. We are laughing because I am not Boris. Boris was my twin brother. My name is Joris. His passing still gives me pain in my emotion sack, Joris feigned, wiping a tear from his eye. But if it makes you feel better, you can call me Boris, just so we can keep things consistent and not so confusing for the audience.
I knew it was too good to be true.
But wouldn't that make things more confusing? Axe asked, raising a perfectly sculpted eyebrow. Yes. Now enough is this silly back and forth and so on and so on. He's like also German now?
Yeah, he's become, well, I mean, we know where that influence has come from.
Yeah, well, you know. I brought you here because I'm a vampire lord, as you may well know, Boris said, gesticulating Germanly. Now that you mention it, you kind of talk differently than your brother. Enough, Boris interrupted. I have brought you here because the mighty Queen of Darkness surely must have something up her wizard sleeve. Boris giggled, and so did Giggles from the other room. Yeah, that's me, good old all-powerful Axewound, queen of being cool and powerful, Axe chuckled nervously. Yes, so shall we get down to sucking of your powers, or do you wish to do some foreplay beforehand? Maybe some Tittensaugen, or maybe some Krankenspanken? Boris yelled.
Tittensaugen.
Yeah, you're like much more German than your brother. He was like Eastern Bloc, and you're like straight up Dusseldorf, Axe chided. Ugla sliced her way through another zombie minion as the blackened blood from his torso sprayed onto her face like that one part in Sin City. The first one, not the second one. Yes, they made a second one. You probably didn't know that, but Ava Green is in it, and she is smoking hot, so you owe it to yourself to watch it just for her. Anyway, she almost relished in the pure ease at which sandals cut through the soggy, rotting flesh of these chuds. After days of feeling the disappointment of not getting back home, or just missing being with Sid, or losing Demi, it felt good to let loose on these undead fuckers. Kind of like going to the range and shagging a few golf balls, but only more violent and way more cool because golf is for dads who can't satisfy their wives' cunnilingual needs. Not like me. That's why they call me the gynecologist, spelled like G-U-I, T-M, do not steal.
Just the deafening silence.
I was trying to spell it like
Gynecologist. G-U-Y.
Oh, I thought you said G-U-I.
Yes,
I was like, that doesn't make sense.
I paused. I was like, why did he spell
G-U-Y?
It's so weird.
Sometimes the vowel Y.
He said it in his Philly voice, that's why.
Oi.
Ugla flicked the blood off the tip of her blade with one swift downward motion. She quickly reversed her grip and stabbed backwards, impaling two zombies at the same time. She pulled the sword out and swung behind her, decapitating both in a single swing. Ah, oh yeah, she moaned a little too sexually. Shit, was this why Sid always had a raging sixer whenever they were killing monsters? It was called a sixer because his two dongers would be erect in two different positions, like the hand of a clock at 6 o'clock. You need to know how a clock works and stop playing with your Yu-Gi-Oh! Pogs and disappointing your sexually frustrated mother to know that. She's very disappointed in you, by the way, but not me. The gynecologist strikes again. Feeling a bit of embarrassment and shame, a.k.a. shabarasame, Ugla quickly pulled herself together. The whole cafeteria was now quiet, save for the few moans of dying undead whose brain cavities weren't completely smashed in like your mama's lap cavity was smashed in by my unsheathed crotch sword last night. Just textbook raw dogging your mama's flappy beef meat, my dude.
A Flappy Bird.
This episode's brought to you by Flappy Bird.
Now you done fucked up, a severed head said from across the room. Ugla heard the rumble of hundreds, if not thousands of footsteps running from every direction. She let out a sigh just as Sandals returned to kitty cat form. She too was panting and wiped a bit of cat sweat from her cat brow with her paw. Mew, she said, returning back to sword form. Now you fucked up! You are fucked, the head said, cackling away. Soon a horde of zombie guys came spilling into the cafeteria, each shouting and frothing from the mouth. One guy was doing that blowjob hand and mouth motion with the tongue pushing on his cheek to make it look like the penis tip was pushing on the inside of his mouth thing for some reason. Maybe he died doing that and he was just stuck like that. Really, it was so bizarre, and Ugla saw it. If she told anyone about it, they wouldn't believe her at all because that's so random. Like the show now, standing completely up. Like the shoe standing completely upright on its own from that super unfunny Key and Peele movie. It's worth it. Shouldn't write this when you're tired. Gotta go, yoink! Ugla said as she beelined it to the door they had entered from. She felt a tinge of regret leaving Axwood behind, but then again, that bitch was the queen of all stupid things and being mean. She was the Duchess of Deceit. She was the Princess of Incest and the Hippolyta of Herpes. The Medusa of Sedusa. Yeah, you got it.
Wow.
Ugla ran past open doors and hallways where more and more zombie guys were raging. She somehow aggroed every single zombie in this fucking place. Even the little zombie toddlers from the zombie daycare she just ran past were chasing her. One of them was dabbing at her as he gave chase. That's dumb, Ugla thought to herself. I think I liked the zombie beach guy better. Finally, up ahead, she saw a way out. A small crack in the rocks was letting a mixture of light and dust and sand through. Behind her, the zombies were now writhing over each other to try to get to their prey before she escaped. That kid was dabbing now, and was now literally surfing on a wave of other zombies with a literal surfboard. Okay, that's pretty dope, Ugla admitted to herself.
It's the coolest ass zombie ever.
Willing her lug muscles forward, with a final push, she reached the crack, which was littler and which was a little smaller than she had thought. She sheathed sandals and stuck her staff and right arm through the crack. She felt the sting of the sand and the heat of the suns. She tried to make herself thinner by breathing in, but only managed to scoochie herself a few more centimeters through the crack. She turned her head slightly behind and saw the horde of zombies coming fast. Faster than I cummed in your mom last night. She thought it was flattering that I only lasted a few pumps, but the truth is I had to go home and finish my story for the show. The show always comes first, bitches. The scraping of the rocks was cutting into Ugla's torso. She felt the trickle of blood run down her perfectly sculpted abs as she willed herself through the impossible pass. She grunted and let out a cry as the zombies began to reach for her. Ah! She yelled as she pushed forward. With one final push, she felt her body give way and fall onto the scalding sands of the wasteland, just as she felt the hands of the 1,000 zombies grasping for her flesh. She shuffled backwards, kicking sand up and using her hands to push herself away from the crack, only to see a few zombie heads and arms poking through. As soon as their skins hit the sunlight, they hissed and sizzled, save for one. It was the beach zombie, who was still doing the blowjob hand motion thing. Even as his face melted away and his eyes boiled in his skull, he kept doing it. Even as the rotting flesh on his hand turned to ash in the wind and his skeletal fingers still grasped onto an invisible and imaginary dick with which he was pumping vigorously into his own open, lipless jaw.
Jesus.
His tongue was still doing that thing with his now disintegrated cheek, but that was too soon sizzled away in the heat of the light. But this guy was still jerking this invisible dick off of his now super double dead mouth. Worth it, he gargled as his skull fell from his body and hit the sand in front of Ugla. What the fuck? Ugla said to no one. Meanwhile, back in the past. Yeah, that's right. I didn't forget about this part of the story. Calm down. We have like 26 of these goddamn things. Be patient. A watch pot never boils or whatever. Just chill the fuck out. Oh, like you weren't secretly hoping I'd write in some more descriptions of Axe's redorculously hujorbulous triple D mammary glands. Yeah, get real.
Get real.
Get real. We should give her some gin, Peppercorn said, looking down at the still unconscious Demi. Yeah, like our mom used to give us gin to us when we were sick and we turned out like pretty not fucked up, Chickpea added. Hey! Chickpea screamed across the now bustling bar. If I see you whip out that hog again, I'm going to put it up on the wall and you'll be banned for life and afterlife, she scolded to a kobold who was flashing his donger. You get me? She emphasized while pointing a finger at a corkboard on the wall with the all-see images of various exposed dongers, schlongers, and hangdowns. On the board read the words, "Do not serve these dicks." Fred was tending bar and slinging drinks at a sophomore level. Sid was sitting by Demi's side, dabbing the sweat from her brow. Gunk was pacing back and forth, trying to seem unconcerned. Whether about Demi or about his return to the Flamingos, it was anyone's guess. Buffcat was resting under Demi's cot, sleeping and keeping guard, although he was sure with Sid and Fred they were safe. And he kind of liked the small gnome girl. She kept feeding him cheese without anybody looking. Where the hell's the doctor? Gunk finally broke. He's on his way, Sid tried to reassure him. I am here, yes, it is I, the doctor is in the house, said a tall and pale human with dark circles under his eyes. As he entered the light, the crew could... As he entered the light, the crew could see just how pale he was. I need to work on commas, guys, and proofread.
You were tired.
I'm still tired. You look like really familiar. Do we know you? Chick asked, squinting in suspicion. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I'd remember such a beautiful, comely wench as yourself, he said with a wink at Chick. You may be a halfling, but you're giving me a fulling, am I right? Here comes some sirens. Are you hearing the siren?
I heard it, yeah.
What is that? Am I in France? All right. All right, I'm out, Peppercorn said, taking his drink and going over to the all-sea juke ball. Now, what seems to be the problem with our little patient here, the doctor asked. He knelt down over Demi and put the back of his pale, cold hand onto her head. He said unhelpfully. Well, she isn't dead. Gunk threw up his arms in frustration. And what did you say your name was, Doctor? Dr. Joris Bloodsuck at your service, he replied and held his hand out to shake. Gunk grabbed onto his hand and squeezed with his mechanical hand a little too hard. That's quite a grip you have there, Mr. Dwarf Strongman, Joris said without flinching. Now, wow, I wrote this really Germanly. Now we know that this little childkin is not in fact dead. You have to check to... Have you checked to see if she is a vavitch? A what? Sid asked to hear better. A vavitch, Joris said. You know, like broomsticks and bobbing pins and that sort of thing. Oh, a witch, Fred chimed in. You're saying it weird. Why are you saying it like that? Chickpea put her head in her hands and leaned onto the bar with a smile. A true master of his craft, she said with a wink back at the doctor. Have you tried giving her the gin? Joris asked. That's what I said, Chickpea said excitedly. What kind of doctor did you say you were again? Said Question, suspicious of this doctor's methods. Well, being a doctor in this world is kind of like how you say being a stockbroker. We don't really know what we're doing, so we just make it up as we go and get rich while doing so. The system works, Chickpea said, swooning harder. My guess is that she will be okay, so no worries, yeah? George said, picking up his doctor's satchel. That will be 100 gold, please, Andanka. Yeah, put it on our tab, Sid said, brushing off the comment. No, you must pay up front. Now, know how you say tab? Joris held out his hand, expecting payment. Sid slowly turned to face the doctor and stood up and towered over the slender man. I said, put it on our tab. Sid clapped a massive troll hand down on the doctor's shoulders for each of his words, and then motioned his head toward a hole in the wall where a rat with a gun was standing with a drink in one hand and said gun in the other hand. Best get moving, stat, the rat said. Else, it's likely to get a little United Healthcare around these parts, capiche? The rat cocked the gun and took a swig of ale from his thimble-sized mug. The suns were now set, and Ugla was alone, trudging through the wastes. She was thirsty and hungry, and tired and hot and cold all at the same time. This fucking blows, she thought to herself. Just then, a flicker in the distance caught her eye. Wait, is that? She said softly. In the distance, she saw a flickering fire. No, it was a sign. Not a more metaphorical sign like the one Ace of Base often sang of, but a literal sign that read, Rose Diner, with a giant arrow pointing down to an elongated silver wreck that was once a place of dining. Is this a mirage? She said softly. Then she looked down below the sign to see another sign that said, this is definitely not a mirage. It's a real place. Come in.
You can trust me.
Huh, Ugla said as she made her way to the door. As she entered, the door closed behind her. As she entered, the door closed behind her, and the rest of the sign lit up with a flicker. This was not the Rose Diner. It was the Hell Rose Diner! Thunder clapped and lightning struck, which was weird because it was a clear night, and usually there aren't, like, rainstorms in the desert. But what do I know? I'm not a science wizard. Ugla approached the lunch counter and dusted the sand from her robe, hair, and beard. The cook was facing away from her as she let out a polite fake cough to let him know that he had a customer. "1 glass of water, please," she said calmly and as nicely as possible, while still dying of thirst. Slowly, the cook turned around, and the record from the All-See Jukeball scratched. As the cook turned, Ugla could see that he, too, was a zombified freak, like those zombified freaks she just fought and killed like 200 of earlier in the day. She looked around to see that every patron in this diner was also a zombified freak of some sort. "Ah, great," she said, unsheathing sandals yet again. Outside the diner, Joris Bloodsuck, a.k.a. Boris Bloodsuck, was walking arm in arm with Axewound. Obviously her left arm, since her other arm was now rotting in a cave somewhere, probably being a mansion for maggots. So then I say to him, "Did you die sucking your Mooty's cockenspiel? Is that why you always make the dick suck motion?" And then everyone laughed. Joris laughed at his own story. "Yeah, that's a great story, and not too long at all," Axe said, faking a laugh. "Here we are, my dear. The best spot is the wasteland to get in a milkshake or a good all-American cream pie." "God, I could go for one of those right about now," Axewood said frustratedly. As Boris opened the door, the little bell thingy rang. It was then followed by the sound of the most raucous diner fight seen since the Waffle House incident of 2004, which was second only to the Perkins Diner incident on Cedar Crest Boulevard of 2003. If you let the all-girls college across the street have an all-night drinking sleepover, you know you're going to have a good time at the Perk, baby.
Perkins.
Ugla was slashing and hacking her way into the zombie killing Hall of Fame. "What the hell is this scheisse?" Boris yelled. Just then, the record on the All-See Jukebox scratched again, which was weird because it had already scratched and wasn't playing. "Axe?" Ugla shouted. "Hey, Uggs," Axewood said, giving her a look like, "Get me out of here." No, this is unacceptable. All I wanted to do was to give you the information. I never wanted how you say anger times. Boris said very distraughtly. "Plus, you're wrecking up my diner. Who will pay for all this?" Wait till you see what we did to the cafeteria, Axewood said, scrunching up her nose. "The cafeteria? But we just got the Coke machine," Boris said. Yeah. Now very upset. "This is all a big misunderstanding. I just wanted to help you. Vinny, get these ladies a milk and shakes, yeah?" "Right away, boss," Vinny said, going back to make the milkshakes. "Sit, we talk," Boris motioned to the counter. Just then, a huge explosion rocked the entire diner. Outside, a rival gang of wastelanders was laying waste to the parking lot full of boner cycles and bone cars and probably like steam-powered fucking horses or some shit. Who even knows, man? "Joris Bloodsuck, show yourself!" a tiny and annoying voice bellowed. The two ladies and Boris exited the diner, followed by a few zombie guys. There, in front of them, standing on top of a mountain of speakers playing that one really good Fear Factory album, was Squib. "Squib?" Ugla yelled up at him. "That's King Parator Squibulicious to you, mortal!" Squib yelled down. "This dining establishment is ours now! Take your zombie filth out of here before I call the Board of Health!" Squib pointed over to a literal board with guys crucified on it. Next to one dead guy was a health meter painted in blood that read, 0 health.
Well, it's accurate.
"Squib, we've been separated for like 4 days. How did you become king of a gang of wasteland dregs in 4 days?" Ugga yelled. "King Parator!" Squib yelled back. Squib, come on, get down here. Ugla motioned with her hand and head. I'll give you half of my milkshake, eh? Ooh, milkshake, Squib said as he immediately leapt down off of the war speakers and was now next to Ugla, slurping on the milkshake. It's good to be back, boss, he said, sucking obnoxiously on a straw. Boy, that's it, yelled a war henchman. We was gonna moiter these zombos and take their milkshakes for us. Yeah, the rest of the crew said. Yeah, why can't we have some milkshakes? Hissed a weird-looking hench guy with a ball gag.
Oh, no.
Suddenly, a shot rang out. Everyone panicked. Zombie guys poured out of the diner, and hench guys started slashing away at them, and vice versa. One zombie bit a guy in the neck so hard, he came. You know how, like, when you get bit really hard, you come? Right, guys?
Yeah.
You guys...
Sure.
Boris Joris collapsed to his knees, clutching his chest. No, Axwood yelled. Wait, I don't actually care. Whatever. You should, Boris Joris said as black blood pooled in his mouth. Ugla leaned over and checked his wound. A garlic bullet. The perfect way to kill a vampire. There's so much shit coming right now. Hold on.
Whoa!
Don't worry. My
The
town's
story's
on
too
fire.
good. They're
too
coming
good.
to take you away.
Something's happening at the local diner.
A garlic bullet. The perfect way to kill a vampire, she said, ripping his frilly shirt open to try to heal the wound. There's nothing I can do, she said, looking at Axwood with wide eyes. Behind them, Squib continued to slurp the last remnants of his milkshake through the straw like the most annoying child you have ever been around, a.k.a. everyday normal children.
Evan.
Listen, Jorbor said, struggling. Axwood leaned in, and so did Ugla. It kind of looked like they might kiss, but not yet, guys, not yet. 26 episodes, remember what I said earlier. Demi, he spurted out along with a lot of black blood now. What? How do you... Ugla stammered. She lives. I saw her in the past. She made it. Axe looked at Ugla with what was almost shame. Ugla was in shock. Her mouth was wide open and she couldn't speak. Joris Borisnikov choked one last cough out of his lungs as black blood sprayed onto his face and Ugla's. And now I die... for good this time, forever, never to come back again. Even if we get prompt where it makes a lot of sense to resurrect this gold mine of a character, I die, having never known love. Tell Rich Masters, tell him. And then a death rattle. Jorborbulus was dead, for good. Like he said, he's not coming back. Be grateful for the time you had with him and don't mourn his loss. Until you realize that those times are over and that this loss is permanent. He's gone. For good. Forever. Get real.
I don't give a flying fuck about Joris
No, me neither.
Bloodsuck.
That's a good fucking milkshake, Squib said. The end.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't care about Joris either. I'm glad he's
No,
dead.
no one gives a fuck about Joris Bloodsuck. You can call him Boris all you want, but he's not Boris.
I think there was a secret code there. Joris is never coming back. Boris might.
Don't pay attention to the fact that Josh said
It works.
Boris isn't coming back
It
several
works.
times.
But he meant Joris. He got that confused a number of times.
Is this what, like, George Lucas feels like with Star Wars fans? Mm-hmm. I mean, I said he's never coming back. He's never coming back.
We'll see, bitch. We'll see.
Boris Bloodsuck is a virgins in the Force. His midichlorian count is off the charts. He's coming back.
If you get vampires and
got-
pod racers, what else are you going to do?
He's right.
Excellent. Very good.
His mother, Doris Bloodsuck, gave birth to him in the desert.
We're getting the hot lore now.
Hot Loris.
Thank you.
Hot
for,
Loris Bloodsuck.
thank you for painting me into your erotic literature. I appreciated it.
It was like I said, it was just like I witnessed it 5 seconds ago. It just like God himself touched my brain and sent me the information.
7 hours of prone boning.
That's like high school shit, dude. That's like our parents are coming home in the morning and you gotta get it in.
Wait. Our parents?
Both of our parents. Yes. My parents and her parents.
Okay.
They went on a trip together.
Yeah,
Jeez.
They went on a trip together because they're one couple.
Yeah, they went on a trip together because her dad is my dad and my mom is her mom. I don't understand what's so confusing.
Hopefully, Joris won't be the only thing that's never coming back in an episode. I think we did great with those prompts. I think there were 3 great stories. If I do say so myself.
How absolutely perfectly long lost siblings worked for your story, Josh. It's insane.
Yeah. I know, it was crazy. I was like, this is too good.
I didn't get excited last episode because I was like, he's going to break my heart again. And he did. He tried to fool me and it didn't work.
Well, you're learning.
He gave you a lot. For like the attempt at breaking your heart, he gave you one night of unbridled passion with Boris Bloodsuck.
And he drastically overestimated how long I could last at sex. But
when it comes to Boris, you're going to find a way. And that leads us to our sponsor, Blue Chew.
Get it up
It
even
works
when you don't
even
want
on an
to.
undead dick.
Do you want to be up all night like a vampire? Take Blue Chew.
Thank God it was done after 7 hours. We would have had to consult a physician.
Man, you needed some Powerade after that shit, huh?
Yeah, it was like
you needed a blood transfusion at the end of that, really.
I was like the guy from the end of The Last Crusade.
The flesh is willing. I mean, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak and spongy.
All right, with that, we're going to close the cover on this week's stories.
It's getting a little creamy in there.
Yeah. It's a bad book. So let's bring out the prompt generator. Totally legit.
He's doing it right now.
Yep.
The first one is Parasites by Yolon Connor.
Nice. That's a good one.
And the
I like
second
that
one is Oil by Chris Balso,
Woo!
who has his own podcast where he does stories, prompt-generated stories as well. But
Nice.
which I should say, I can't.
He
remember the
did
name
not
of it.
pay us anything, so we
Did
cannot
not?
say the name.
Right, so yeah, Parasites and Oil, which will work very well for some lovely, hopeful New Year's stories.
Yeah.
If you
The New Year's episode.
nothing more hopeful and optimistic than parasites and oil
It's a glimpse into the future, boys.
in the past.
I should probably say that we are going to take a small break over the Christmas and New Year period, partially because it's also my birthday in 2 weeks. So
Happy birthday, Rich.
Thank you.
Rich is going to be 71 years old.
In body.
I believe that's yeah.
That's how I feel. But we are going to do something. We will let you know when that turns up. We're going to release something over that period. So you won't be without us, because I know how desperately you would miss us not being there for the holiday period with you.
I could take it or
You gotta
leave it.
keep the. Damn.
If you heard those prompts and you were like, those are great, but I can do better, then you need to head over to patreon.com/storylords, and for as little as $5 a month, you can join our Discord, suggest prompts, and get early access to the stories when they come out in text form. For $10, you'll get access to our sidecasts, redesigned by committee, and Afterlords, and whatever else we do. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We are doing something different this time. And for $15, you get access to the book when it comes out and a PDF. And you also get a mention in the book itself. Storylords is now on YouTube. We're releasing 1 episode a week, thanks to our good friend John Anderson, who is the Upload Lord. I think I've dubbed him.
The Lord of the Upload.
So please head over to YouTube, and if you're going to re-listen to the episodes, re-listen to them there to give us a bit of a bump. Also, please.
Thank you so much to John Anderson, by the way.
Yeah, he's doing.
He volunteered for that.
He's literally doing the Lord's work.
Yeah,
Literally. Well, he is one now.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, he graciously offered some time because he's got some free time. So he said he would be happy to upload them, which is great because we have no free time.
Yay!
So he's doing us a massive favour. So if you could do us a favour as well, head over, comment on the videos as they come up, re-listen to them again. That would be fantastic. If you want to find out anything about the podcast, you can head over to storylords.page or storylords.card.co with 2 R's. You can review us on iTunes. Have we got any reviews?
we have absolutely no new reviews from the United States of America.
Okay.
However, we have 5 reviews from Canada we have never read.
Ooh!
What?
I don't think we've ever read Canadian reviews on the show.
That's crazy because I'm about to move there because my country isn't on fire.
If we have read these before, congratulations, I'm doing it again. Our first review is from Dope Hangers 69. It's entitled Hot Dang. It's like my favorite podcast evolved and added 2 new amazing writers. The unique voices really shine through in each story and have me busting a gut one moment and then on the edge of my seat the next. Bravo. And that is from 2022, 5 stars.
Excellent.
Nice. Thank you,
Oldie
Dope
but
Hanger
goldie.
69.
We have another from 2022 here. August. These boys got me smiling from ear to ear. I eagerly await the bi-monthly delivery of these well-crafted stories that your 3 incredible hosts bring to the table each episode. And let me tell you, these 3 maestros of comedy conduct a symphony of laughter featuring yourself as the lead vocalist. Do yourself a favor and listen in. 5 stars, and that's from Verakia.
That was
great.
That was good.
We have one here from May 2023 from Geordie Roll. Greater than the bestest greatness.
Wow.
Every goddamn week I tune in and listen to these 3 bros spinning amazing yards. He's getting a podcast none of the rest of us are getting on the off weeks, I guess.
He's listening to it twice.
Thank you. They never disappoint. These jerks are responsible for some of the best slap your mama, piss your pants laughs ever. You owe it to your future great-grandchildren to listen to and cherish this audio gold. 5 stars.
Thank you.
We have one here from May 6th of this year from Marked Satellite. Old story lords, they coming. Hey, iTunes people browsing the reviews. I'm not talking to the already fans. We know this podcast is a 5-star, 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 5-star show.
That's 20
Can you
stars.
dig that, sucker?
Excellent.
We actually did read all these before. I'm just realizing.
Did we? That's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. It's worth
But,
a read.
We
this
need
is-
some American ones. Where's our American friends
This is the
standing
one.
up?
This is the one we didn't read part of last time because it's a whole lot about the back end of becoming a patron and not being capable of.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway.
yeah.
Let's go. I love a mad rant.
You want me to read all this?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
A little housekeeping. Look, I know a lot of us aren't patrons. Well, take that shit up with Patreon. Patreon needs to do gift cards for us non-major credit card holders. All I got is a goddamn debit card. You can use a debit card. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, I use
Wait,
a debit
what
card.
was
It's like
that?
a credit card.
Wait, what was that? Why don't I got PayPal? Look, my sister got scammed by some guy on WebZone, so I ain't risking that.
Is this like a bit? This is
I don't know.
crazy.
I don't know. I think we need to have a long talk with Mr. Pat Rion. In all honesty, I can't tell you how many of my favorite shows' contents are locked behind the big P. Dude, I can't even watch a Netflix show without password sharing since they insist on a credit card unless they drop that prerequisite in the past 4 years. I don't know. I'm just a guy.
Here's a spoiler
5
alert.
stars.
Witcher, 2 swords.
Remember they were cool with password sharing, but then backed down because they're cowards. But that's cool. I get it.
It's still going.
Old Jeff, I totally got that cartoon All-Stars reference a few episodes back. Rich and Josh didn't. I got you back. Taps heart with fist twice. What do we think of Tubi? I mean, morality-wise.
Who's Tubi?
What's the deal with
Tubi is
Tubi?
a streaming service.
Oh,
But
I don't know.
What is the
deal?
morality of Tubi?
Yeah, there's commercials. Like, what's the problem? I don't understand.
I guess it's owned by the Fox Corporation.
Well,
I mean,
they own a lot of things.
everything's owned by one of the big seven.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love listening to Toonhounds too, as I
Hey.
cook and on my walks getting groceries, which is like a 40-minute hike through a town that thinks I'm a criminal because of the way I look. Goddamn repathers. I bet they watched Netflix.
I didn't know we were reading this guy's like manifesto.
Yeah. Perhaps listen to me next time when I'm like, I don't know, guys.
I listen to you.
Anyway, subscribe to Storylords and Toonhounds, but seriously, at Patreon, get them gift cards going. I want to pay the toll to the Storylords. Hashtag Patreon gift cards now.
I think you can.
They do have
You can
gift
debit
codes.
cards now as well.
You
I think
can
they're-
debit card,
yeah.
and they do have gift codes on Patreon. Patreon are gatekeeping Storylords? Your pal Rado, the chief captain of the USS Steak and Ribs Lemon Pepper Restaurant, which sounds real nice.
That does sound good. I'm sorry
We
you're
did read
having a
all these
hard
on
time.
the show. Our latest one is from November 25th from Pizza Papa, who is John Anderson,
That's John
the guy
Anderson,
who
yeah.
uploads all of
Yeah.
our YouTube stuff like a boss. Oh, Canada, what a good show. I literally downloaded iTunes to leave a review. This show is that good. Have you ever thought of the Squire life? It's quite comfortable, and you get like 20 free friends just for becoming one. Looking forward to meeting you, Pizza Papa. So fucking get in on that Patreon. 5
Nice.
stars.
Excellent. Thank you guys. That was great.
Look, here's the thing. If you want to write a rambling manifesto about something you're annoyed by into our reviews, as long as you
it.
give us the stars necessary, go right ahead.
Whatever stars you want to give us.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I didn't
that's
say
the toll.
5.
I know you
That's
didn't.
the toll.
I meant
you
5, but I
you
didn't
just
say it.
didn't say that then either.
What do you think about the morality of Tubi?
I don't
What about
care.
that?
I don't. It never crossed my mind. I never.
What are some
rarely
other
watch
places that could do reviews? What are the 2-letter codes for that? It's like US and then CA.
GB.
The GB,
GB.
for Grand
FR.
Britannia.
We have 5
French.
stars on here too. Oh shit.
From GB?
Yeah, from GB. We have 3 reviews on here.
Read those ones, and then
Shit.
we'll try and look for some more in the next episode.
Yeah, this is getting
Yeah.
long. Sorry.
That's all right. It's good.
Our first review on here is from August of 2022. I'm guessing that's when we started the podcast.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Maybe.
A wonderful addition to the Continuverse, which we're not part of. It's great to have a new podcast featuring prompted tales again. Highly recommended. 5 stars. That's from Lee of Wood.
We're all of wood.
Our next one is from Benjamin. From September of 2022. This is great. Loving the stories. If you've been missing fantasy fiction, which I have, you'll love this podcast. The variety in the stories and the chemistry between these 3 fine chaps is wonderful, always hilarious. Can't wait to see how Josh gets fired. 5 stars.
Well, he's doing all right so far.
I've made it, I think, just about as long as I did on the
Wow,
other
that's
ones.
I
depressing.
think it might be longer at this point.
It might be a couple episodes longer, yeah. Which,
Our last one
time
here.
to start looking for a new guy, guys.
Our last one here is from November 3rd, and it's from XX Axwound Liker 69XX.
Fuck yeah, hardcore!
True Lords of Story, a title well earned. The show is really good and I absolutely love it. Having 3 stories written with different vibes and genres is awesome variety, and they're also damn well written. It's very clear everyone cares about their stories. It comes through every episode. Makes me want to get on with my own writing. The fact you get stories of this length done every 2 weeks is seriously badass and honestly pretty inspiring. Especially glad to have new Darino stories. I wish I was there back in the beginning. So yeah, love it. You guys are great.
That's great.
ASLABAAHG. All story lords are badass authors and handsome gentlemen.
As is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
We didn't really need to read that.
You're all inspirational, and I can't wait for more.
Man, that's
that's
so
nice, yeah.
What a great
Thank
review.
you.
Thank you, guys.
These were great.
Yeah.
Hidden across the pond.
Who knew there were other countries besides America?
we'll try and find out some more so that we can bank up some to read. Yeah, it was great. Thank you all for the really nice messages. That was great.
Yeah, those were awesome. Thank you all so much.
This is the part where I normally read the Patreon fans, but for some reason I have accidentally logged myself out of Patreon and I can't remember the password.
Dumb donkey.
So I'm going to say thanks.
71 might have been a little too young for the estimate of Rich's age.
I just can't remember
I'm
the
actually
password.
logged in to the Story
okay.
Lords thing right now.
I honestly don't even fucking know the password.
We have told you a dozen times.
I wrote it down. It's fucking somewhere.
It's somewhere. I want to post it.
Let's look at these.
I know.
We have-
First one is Henry Roselar, King of Patrons.
Yes. Little dwarf kid from Rich's Story Fund, patron, Henry Roselar. Anthony Stoker, Federico Rodriguez, Granola Daniels, Heath Robinson, Jonathan Anderson, Lord of the Uploads, Pez King, Sarah Kemp, Sean Tabor, Squid Ludwig, Steven, Werewolf Bar Mitzvah, and you know what? I'm just going to throw one in here. Surely Not Unique.
Great.
A $10 Hander Saints patron. Thank you so much.
Oh, Anderson.
If we haven't mentioned your name, we'll get round to it one day. But we love you all.
Thank you,
Obviously
Sterner
not-
Stocks, Thomas Hardacre, Weird Band 3214, Will Holmes, Witch Knight Ren, Cyan Blue, Yan Koner, A-Frame, and Aaron Damrow.
Wow.
A-Frame! He's back!
Shouting them out, baby!
Excellent. Big thanks, as always, to Vidison for the use of his music for the show. He has made all the music for the ad breaks and the intro and outro. You can find Greg's info, inside leg measurement, all that sort of stuff on vidison.card.co. That's card with 2 R's. He's got tour dates and stuff like that on there as well. But you can listen to his stuff on Spotify right now. Give him a bump. You can buy his music. Go do it right now. He's
All
an excellent
bangers.
gent.
If you're looking for a really sick, instrumental track with a real cool hip hop flair, check out Dream Pass, Big Fat Meanie. That's a Vidison track, and it's so fucking
Call him
sick.
that.
One I've always loved is his theme for Saturday Night Slam Masters, which is really great. It's the sort of album that we were on when we were bros, before pros. We were still bros, obviously. So, I didn't want anyone to think we were firing anyone or anything like that.
Josh, do you want to recommend a Vidison song?
Any Santosha song.
Yeah, Santosha
came
fucking rules.
Came on in the car the other day, and I was like, these boys should be they should be famous.
Like, if
They
you
should
want
be-
an entire album of nothing but bangers, by the way, pick up Vidison's Valiant Hearts.
Yep.
That is no skip, all bangers.
Yep.
All killer, baby.
But when it comes on comes on our Spotify playlist, and Rach was like, "Is this Vidison again?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
It's crazy.
Because she's like, sometimes she'll get about halfway through the song. She was like, "I've been humming this recently. What is this?" I'm like, "It's Vidison."
Yeah.
So
He is really fucking good.
Yeah.
He's the lord of music.
yeah,
It's crazy.
and our first guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's gonna come back soon. I'm talking to him about it.
To replace me.
No, we'd never replace you. No one's replaceable on this show.
We don't make enough money yet. Patreon.com/storylords.
Right.
Like I've been here before.
We hope you have had or having or will have, whenever you're going to have it, a great, what's it called when you don't want to say Christmas?
Holiday
Happy
season.
holidays. You can also say, it's by this time it's like Happy New Year is where we're at.
Okay, so it might be my birthday.
Yeah.
It's my birthday
Happy
coming up in a
screw
couple
year.
of days. I'm 41 this year, and
72 years
I
old.
don't want to be. So
Happy birthday, Rich.
Thank you.
There's only one other alternative.
Death.
Yeah. Reverse aging like Benjamin Button.
Yeah, but then you might go too far. I don't want to have to go
And
back
then you
to
get
school.
to suck on what's her name's titty because you're a baby.
Yeah,
Kate Blanchett.
I don't want to do that.
Did you guys?
Thanks for
did you guys
tuning in,
watch-
everybody. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, watch the movie.